Psalm 32. Hear the words of the first 5 verses. Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. I want to ask you a question right now. Is there a sin in your life you're hiding? Maybe you're hiding it from the Lord. Maybe you're hiding it from your spouse. Maybe you're hiding it from a friend that needs to know about it. I am by no means saying you need to come into church on Wednesday night and confess your addiction or your struggle to everybody in the room. That may be what you need to do, but probably not. No, you need somebody in your life that you can confess your sins to regularly. You need to confess to the Lord. You certainly need to confess to your spouse. But do you have a friend that you can regularly confess your sins to? You need that. It's freedom. Are you keeping sin silent inside of yourself right now? Are you hiding it? Just pay attention to what verse 3 says. For when I kept silent about my sin, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. David speaks here about his own sin, and he says, if I don't confess it, it just makes me feel like I'm wasting myself. I just can't stand it when I don't confess it. Like it makes my life miserable. Are you miserable? Are you miserable today? Is it possible you have unconfessed sin that you're hiding, you're trying to conceal? You can't conceal it from the Lord. He knows. He knows. He wants you to confess it. But it may be that you need to confess it to somebody in your life that needs to know about it. Maybe your spouse, maybe a friend, maybe your pastor, maybe somebody in your church. You need to confess your sin. So I ask you, is there a sin you are hiding? Would you confess? Listen to what the end of the psalm says. Psalm 32:11. Be glad and rejoice. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, O righteous, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart. You get to the end of the psalm talking about confessing your sins. And when you confess your sins, you can be glad and rejoice. And you can shout for joy because your sins are forgiven and you're no longer carrying the weight of them. So confess. Confess your sins. It is freedom for you, I promise.